So let's go. Let's now look at NAR. One of the things they do incredibly well, by the way, God bless them, they do a great job, is they do their annual survey that gives us visibility into the industry. And this is a phenomenal tool, and we use it year round, and we're very grateful that they do it. We don't want them to ever stop doing it, okay? So the first thing is, how many first-time home buyers were in the market last year? And the number was 34%. By the way, what we really want is somewhere between 38 and 40%. And that 34% is not a good number for the industry. But that's an issue, again, of what? Inventory. It's an issue of inventory. It's just not there for them to buy, okay? So what's the primary reason that someone purchases a home? Well, the number one reason, is to own it. Which, by the way, is really great for the economy. It's great for the economy because people that own property take better care of it than people that rent property, right? Or they want a larger house, or they're relocating because of a job. They have a change in their family situation. They want to be closer to family or friends. They just want a different or better area, or they want to downsize. There it is. Those are your reasons. By the way, when agents are lead generating, if you flip it, those are the reasons they're looking for when they talk to people. If there's a change in their life, there's an opportunity that they might want to change their real estate, right? So here's the interesting thing, right? How long do they stay in a home? Seems pretty stable, doesn't it? It's about 10 years. Now, it used to be a lot less. It used to be a lot less, folks. But this is the kind of number for us.
In 2008, it was 6 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gone up. It's gone up. By the way, fine. The point here is that for a real estate agent, is if they go out and talk to 100 people, what do they statistically know if they got to a big enough size, a sampling size? That 10 of those 100 will be selling this year. That's just a statistical fact. And everything that they then build their business plans around are built around that kind of a fact, knowing that that's ultimately going to be the outcome. So they just have to get to a large enough size where the law of large numbers starts to play out for them.
This is what happens when people are farming, right? We have 200 homeowners in this area. Statistically, 20 of them, right, are going to probably be moving every year.
Yes. There you go. So they build their entire career, their businesses around the understanding of how many people they need in their database or how many people they need to talk to on a regular basis in order for the law of large numbers to apply and that percent kick in. Now, they expect to stay, look at that, 15 on median. They move in 10, but they expect to stay 15, which is really fascinating, right? Life happens, I think.
Yeah,
life happens.
People get jobs, they get divorced, they have kids, all those things happen, and
yes,
they have too much or too little home all of a sudden.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is interesting. So number of weeks that they take to look for a house. And it's been very steady at 10 weeks, right? What is that about? Well, contrast that to 12. And 12 was actually when it was a buyer's market. And what you're going to see is you're going to see these searches go down. The amount of time they spend is based upon, honestly, how much time they think they can spend before they find something that they can actually get a contract on.
So what would be fun to do sometime is overlay the number of people who begin their search online over this. Because you go back, and in the early aughts, you had people buying a house in just 8 weeks. And I just think the amount of information they're consuming now is actually extending the process. It's not shortening it.
Yeah, I think that's right too. So the first step in buying process is they looked online for real estate. We find that an odd statistic. Why? Because I would have guessed it was 100%. I mean, I would, right? I don't know about you guys, but if I have any information that I want to know whatsoever, I pick up my phone and I Google it, or I go looking to find that information. So when it says they looked online for property and it was only 42%, that's a head scratcher. That doesn't actually make sense to me. By the way, very few people contact a real estate agent. So this is something that's misunderstood in our industry. People don't go, oh, honey, let's sell our home. Let's call an agent. Doesn't happen. So the reason why agents spend an inordinate amount of time in lead generation and in staying in contact with people is that they have to touch them on a regular basis. So in the moment that one turns to the other and says, I might want to buy another home, or I might want to sell this home, or whatever, That they're there within a short time frame of when that occurs. When we nicknamed it the 33 touch, all we were saying was overkill over time. Touch them in meaningful ways, just enough so that at one point within a 10-year period, they're going to say, well, it's funny you called. We're thinking of moving. Okay. Rarely would they go, boy, they've been sending me this stuff. Let's call them. That rarely happens, right? That's why we put such an emphasis on lead generation. And you'll see another reason in a second why, which is really important. So sources that buyers use, well, there you go. 95% use a website. So what is this 42% looked online, but 95% were online? Okay, that doesn't make any sense to me. So there's something weird about that, okay? By the way, 89% use real estate agents. There you go, okay? Where buyers found the home they purchased, internet, 49%. So what we don't know about this study, why I'm suspect about this, is because they don't actually, not 1 out of every 2 people actually go online and find their house and buy it. That's not actually how it works. Most likely what's happening is, in most cases, they're working with a real estate agent who is sending them, or has a bot of some kind sending them properties that would meet their needs, and somewhere in there is the property.
Yeah, we did a study, I think, a couple of years ago. We found the number is really close to like 10, 12% of people actually find the home online, find a real estate agent, and then buy the one they found originally.
See, that would make sense. That percent would make a lot of sense to me. 49% as, I just got online and half of us found the home we're going to buy. You know, the internet lies. What I mean by that is photographs lie, right? Have you discovered that? That you look at a picture of a property and then you go to it and you discover, oh, of course, I'm an idiot. I should have known that they would take the best angle possible and take it at the right time of day such to make that room look as big an area as possible. I should have known that, right? Yes. Yeah. So that no one should buy something sight unseen. That seems silly. For the amount of money you're spending, why would you ever do that? Why would you want to do that? Say, well, to save some time, I'm too busy doing other things in my life. This is the most expensive purchase of your life. You don't have time to go check it out. You're an idiot, right? If you're building a website, what's valuable about this is you get anecdotal evidence from them to back up what you're experiencing, and that is they want to see photographs, they want to see detailed property information. It would be interesting and helpful to see anything that might have sold, neighborhood information, floor plans, virtual tours, blah, blah, blah. That's what they want, right? You agree? When you look at real estate, that's what you want, right? As many photos as possible. Virtual tours are cool. You want lots of information. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. There it is. Floor plans are nice. All of that's just awesome. Method of home purchase, right? 88% use a real estate agent. And man, that's like 89, 88% is the highest. This is the highest ever been, right? 90% in that range. Yeah. Yeah. So technology did not put the real estate agent out of business, did it? So then we run that trend line out and we say, well, is it going to? Well, you got to watch that a little bit, right? There's intent to do that. There's intent to do that. Okay. I don't think it will. Buyer rep agreement. So I preach regularly from the pulpit that when you're working with a buyer, they should sign a buyer rep agreement just like a seller does, right? You're putting forth your time and your energy, and you can always break it. You can always get out of it. But what it simply says, as long as it's been signed, you won't go around me. That if you're going to go around me, you'll let me know because you'll end the agreement, right? And what happens, real estate agents are afraid to ask for a commitment. And as a result of that, only about 40% are actually getting it signed. And the rest are just hoping that the buyer doesn't stray off without telling them, so they waste the time. It's an issue of wasting time. If someone doesn't want to work with a real estate agent, don't work with them. I mean, a real estate agent since the beginning of time will tear up listing agreements. They never hold sellers to it, right? No, they don't. They don't hold them to it at all. If the seller wants out, they'll get them out. Same with the buyer agreement. The reason we do it is so up to the moment that it's torn up, all that work that's been done is protected. That's the only reason. And the reason you do that is because no money's exchanged hands. So the real estate agent is working for free on behalf of the buyer and the seller, and the only thing they ask is up to the moment that you tell me you're going to cheat on me that you won't. Does that seem reasonable? Why would you not sign it? I mean, that's right. That's like saying, I intend to cheat on you. And you're saying, well, I'll tear it up. Just call me and I'll tear it up. But up to the moment that we tear it up, if we worked with each other, my work is protected. What reasonable person says no to that? Nobody. They're just not getting asked. The agent's not asking them. A reasonable person goes, well, that makes total sense. I signed a listing agreement, I signed a buyer agreement. You're telling me I can get out at any moment? Yes, you can get out. And everything I've done up to that point is protected. Any buyers I brought to your property are protected. Any homes that I've shown you as a buyer that you later go back and buy, I'm protected. If you want to go forward and look at other real estate with other people, I'll tear this up and we're good to go. Or I'll just set it aside and say it ends at this date. Easy breezy.
We talk to our top teams. They all use a buyer rep agreement, and all their people have to. And the good, bad news is if you are a new agent and you're not talking about it, you only have to lose once to want to use a buyer agreement going forward.
I could tell you war stories about that. Yep. So what buyers want most from their real estate agent? Well, they want you to find them a house. They want you to find the house, negotiate the sale, right? The price and the terms. They want you to do the paperwork. Have a nice day. Right? Isn't that what we want? Yep. In the shortest amount of time, fewest amount of hassles, right? Yeah. So how'd they find their agent? Well, 42% were referred. 12% had used them before, right? They found them by a website. They found them through open house. So you look at this and you realize this is why real estate agents have a lead gen program where they pick about 3 or 4 as their keys, and then they pick about 3 or 4 as their secondary. That's why they do that. They're casting a net out there, right?
I look at that number, only 5% were agent referred. And I think that we just rolled out a product that hopefully that number is going to change positively for our company at the least.
Do you know we have, now again, I could be saying this wrong, so guys correct me, but we actually have, was it a real estate agent that was sending we had a market center that was receiving 2 referrals a day.
And one individual that's already got over 100, if I'm correct.
Sent or received?
I thought it was received, but I don't know. That's where we'll have to get the data.
Sent. I think maybe sent.
Yeah, still a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, it is sent. They had found a way to actually generate the leads and send them. Mm-hmm. You're right.
Yeah. Buyer interviews. So here's the interesting thing, right? So this is the game. You got to understand that 70% hire the first agent. 87% hire the first 2. So now you understand why the emphasis on lead generation. Get there first. The average consumer can't tell the difference between a good agent or a bad agent. They'll hire anybody. So the good agents know this. And that's why they have a fire to lead generate. The reason they do it is because they want to find the person at the time they're making a decision, and they want to get there first. Right? They don't look how many talk to more than 2. If you're not number 1, man, it's a tough climb. But if you're not number 1 or number 2, you're essentially out of it. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, most important factors for buyers, well, duh. I mean, plug into how you think. Honest and trustworthy, good experience, great reputation. I know you, or a friend knows you, or whatever, right? You know the neighborhood. I mean, come on, that's my doctor. I want them to be honest and trustworthy, have experience, have a great reputation. I'll forgive the no knowledge of the neighborhood.
I'd like them to know the human biology. How about that?
Yeah, good doctor cares and is a good listener, has timely responses, seems 100% accessible for information. That's just the definition of what we want from any professional, right? Yeah. So this is really cool, right? So what it says is that 82% of the people surveyed believe that real estate's a good financial investment. And of those 82, 71% say real estate is as good or better than the stock market. Yeah, absolutely. Right, so this is interesting, right? So in 2017, 89% said they would definitely or probably use their same agent. Now, what statistic?
A few pages ago, we saw that only 12% do.
Right.
So there's still a huge opportunity in terms of orphan clients out there that we need to lead generate for.
Doesn't that shock you? 89 said they either definitely would or probably would, and only 12% do. Why? Now you know why. Now you know why we're building a CRM. Why? So we can make building a database and staying in communication with that database so easy and painless that every real estate agent in the firm, and they don't have to spend any more money to do it. We're not asking them to spend any more money, that we can provide them a best-in-class tool that allows them to take advantage of that. That's one of the main reasons why we're doing it. Okay? So important. Method that sellers use to find their agent: 41% referred, 23% used by the agent previously, right? Visited an open house and met an agent, 5% a website. So this is the big challenge. So when you see Zillow going in to be an iBuyer, the reason they're doing it is because they're trying to figure out how to turn that into a seller lead generator. And it makes sense. Now, it does. It makes total sense for them to try to do that. Okay. So the internet is not very good because sellers are not looking for real estate agents online. Right? How many do they interview? 89% pick one of the first two. Same kind of statistic, isn't it? Crazy, right? What do they want most? It's the same thing. They want you to market your home to the most possible buyers, sell the home as fast as possible, get the best price, help them buy another home if they need to. It's common sense. So where they found the home they purchased, right? So we'll go right back on this. This becomes your marketing plan for when you take a listing, right? This is what you do, right? You would actually take this and sit it in front of the seller and then show your marketing plan and say, this is where they all come from. This is the list. And here my plan matches up with that list. That would be the soundest way to make a presentation to a seller, and they would immediately get it and say, oh, well, you're definitely hitting all the right spots to promote it. Most important factor for sellers, same thing: reputation, honest and trustworthy. They knew you from a friend. They are your friend, or your family member. They have knowledge of the neighborhood. They have a caring personality, good listener. Right. Those are the big ones, right? Mm-hmm. So if you show up and you know what you're doing and you act like a professional, they're going to hire you. And that's very typical of all of us. We're in the face of a professional and they feel professional, like they can do the job. We go, great, give you a shot. This is interesting, right? Real estate agents initiate the discussion of compensation 48% of the time. I believe in this market today, not market, but just in the world today, that would be 100%. Then an agent would sit down with every seller and explain their flexible commission, right? For instance, if we list your home but you bring the buyer, we charge one fee. If we list your home and what would be the next one? I just drew a blank.
Well, it's like you can break it out. Like if we bring the buyer, it's this. If you bring the buyer, it's this. If you bring the buyer and you don't even want us to negotiate it, it's this. Like you can do it. And what people have found is that it's like better than 97% of the time, we bring the buyer and they want all the services.
Right. Sorry, I had a brain fart. There are probably about 5 scenarios where there would be a different commission that if you were flexible. And here's the interesting thing is that real estate agents automatically will do that. If the seller asks them, say, hey, as an example.
If you buy with me and sell with me, I'll give you this price.
Yes. Yeah, that's a 2 for I'll discount my fees, or I'll give you a different price structure for that. Does that make sense? And they do it. They almost all of them do it. My point is that 100% of the time you ought to tell the people up front that you do it. You shouldn't wait for them. Make it part of your. What we discovered is that real estate agents that advertise flexible commissions structures generate more leads. Mm-hmm. That was a study that we've done over the years, right? Yep. 85% would definitely and probably use you again.
23% do. Again, 20, not as big of a disparity, but they're still there.
Yep. Method used to sell your home. 89% used a real estate agent. What else do you need to know? Right? Highest it's ever been. Highest it's ever been. So when we look at the internet and we say, with all of this going on, this is also what attracts all that money. because what they say is y'all haven't been disrupted yet. Yeah, that's part of that catch-22 about going, well, you didn't disrupt me. You say, well, here we come. Right? It shows that there's value there. That's all. Right? Incentives offered to attract buyers. 63% never use it. The other ones would be a home warranty or pick up some of the closing costs or help with the repairs, that sort of thing. Not a whole lot.
The only reason we track that is because in the buyer's market, that could matter. When the market crashed, you had to offer, I mean, people were giving away cars, TVs, whatever they could to get people in that house.
Yes.
That reflects the market we're in.
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly right. All right, 2 more pages and we're out of here. Oops, wrong way. So we do a commission study each year, and what we try to understand is what is the trend of commissions. And there it is. For sellers, this by the way, the thing that this tells you is this idea that there being a set commission is what? It's a myth. It's just a myth. It's a myth. The sellers pay an average of 2.6%. Buyers pay an average of 2.6%. There you go. Right? Here we are. You're in the real estate business. All right, I really appreciate you. The truth of the matter is we are reinventing the company, and you're feeling it. We're all feeling it. And I really appreciate it. The real estate agent, trust me, really appreciates you. Most of them don't even know what you're doing yet. They don't fully understand the fight that you're fighting. It's kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. I mean, in terms of real estate organizations, we're the only group today that has a real dog in the fight for the real estate agent. The rest are scrambling and trying to do it, but because they woke up late, they're a couple of years behind. You're not. You're late. Trust me, you're late. And that's why it feels like a frenzy working around here right now, because the goal is to make up lost time. That's all. But you're not too late. That's the good news, as long as we deliver on what we're all working on. So thank you. All right.